Hey, everybody, thank you so much for being here. So glad to have you guys be a part of this workshop. So I am super pumped myself to be learning how to do this stuff as well, because usually when I find properties, it's really, I just call up wholesalers or other investors. They send me deals, other realtors. I talk to them and they send me deals, but we're also have great ways to reach out to sellers, get the data on these sellers, see exactly how we can help them in their, let's say they're trying to sell their house. We want to know information so we can help them, so that we can also be able to profit from these properties we're buying, but also help them as well. So I'm super pumped to bring on a great company who has been doing this for a very long time, as well as gives great information. We also have really good, towards the end, I'll definitely make sure you guys have a way to get a discounted. I've been working with them for a little while to get where we can get you guys really good rates on everything, as opposed to just a normal person coming in. But I'm super pumped to have Danny Reyes and Roger Villa here with us. Danny, Roger, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Dustin. Really do appreciate the opportunity. And thank you all for joining this call today. I know everyone's got a really busy schedule. I know we got the holiday coming up. So really do appreciate you taking your time to reinvest in yourselves and what our Datatree system can do for you.
Totally. Now, I know that I am super excited to look at how Datatree is going to actually be able to help us. But first, before we get into exactly how a Datatree works and how we can actually utilize it, walk us through how a regular real estate investor can utilize something like this to help us to find sellers, how to understand more about the market, and all those sort of things.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dustin. Again, my name is Danny Reyes. I'm the Director of Sales here at First American Datatree. Been in the data business since I graduated college back in 2000. So I've been around the block for a while. We're kind of the leading provider of nationwide property data for a reason, because we work very hard on having our own system, our own data, and refreshing it and standardizing it and making it in an easy to use platform for a real estate investor segment to become successful. I know to say you're reinventing something's kind of a big claim, but First American really has done exactly that. And we're going to show you how equipping you with the Datatree tool will be your single solution for property, home ownership information, mortgage, research, new leads. And again, it's just that single source that allows you to have less time trying to identify those targets that you're looking to really be meaningful to your business. So what we would like to do is really kind of take you through just an overview of the tool and how our existing investor business is utilizing the system to bring in a lot of dollars and cents into their business. It's one of the leading lead generation parts of their business today, because it's not so much a shotgun approach to sending out massive amounts of mail, but more of a targeted approach to your marketing side of your business to make sure that you aren't wasting those dollars that are very valuable for the investment business as a whole. So I would like to introduce you to Roger Villa. He's my senior account executive, also been with Datatree for 10 plus years. He's going to kind of take us through the platform and just really hone in on those specific needs that our existing investor business is using today to make them successful. Roger, do you need to share your screen or?
Yeah. So while
Hey,
Roger's
Danny.
Yeah, sorry. So for
Yeah,
everybody,
sure.
also adding in that we're going to have time for you guys to ask questions too. So I'm going to be working with Roger. We're going to be walking through. So hold your questions until a little more towards the end. I'll open it up because I want Roger to be able to go through everything. And then if I have any questions that help us point in the right direction, I'll ask them. And then we'll have a time where you guys can all ask questions. But Roger, the stage is yours, man.
Oh, and sorry, one more comment, and you already alluded to that, Dustin. We have a partnership with Master Passive, and so there's preferential pricing that comes with that partnership. So at the end of this session, we'll share with you a screen to qualify for some of those special packages that aren't readily available to the public, only because you're partnered with Master Passive as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that being said, nice meeting everybody, and thank you for joining here. Like Danny said, this is my name is Roger, and I've been sales executive here for 10 plus years, and hoping to kind of walk you through you guys through a couple scenarios on how other investors take advantage of our standardized public record data here. So I should be sharing my screen. Do you guys see my screen here?
Yeah, looks
Yep,
good,
we're all
Roger.
set.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So let me just jump in here and show you our unique interface to locate the deals that you're after. So just like Danny said, Datatree was developed to find those needles in a haystack. And so upon login, uh, you'll be able to jump into the advanced search function to identify those property records. And so if I click on the advanced search upper left-hand corner, that'll give us the pop-up option to start entering filters and finding those records of interest. And so by default, off the bat, you'll start with the geography. So we can start by entering, a state and a county. All of our property data is at a county level. So by entering the geography, it'll allow you to hone into those records within that area and get you more precise results. And so as you notice here, you can even drill it down a bit more by city, zip code, APN. If you want to identify those records, or you prefer to target those records that are out of a homeowners association, for example, we'll have that yes, no option for you guys. A couple premium filters that I think would set us aside from any other search engine would be our properties owned, number of properties owned by specific owner, right? So if you're looking for those owners that have 2 to 5 properties throughout the U.S. or within that specific county, you can go ahead and take advantage of that filter here. So let me add this here. So 2 to 5 properties, and again, we're just targeting Orange County, California. So notice that out of over millions of records, we drill that down a bit more. Um, we also have, the absentee. So if you want to target those absentee owners, you'll be able to add that filter here. If you want to opt out any
And the
corporate owned.
absentee
Mhm.
owners, Roger, are those that live maybe in a different state or a different address, but also have that property under their name.
Yeah, exactly. So these are property owners or owner records that have real estate in Orange County, but are not residing within that property. It could be a rental, right? Property. Again, corporate owned, so exclude LLCs, corporations. If you want to opt out mailers, right, or do not mail lists or do not mail records, you can just go ahead and just exclude those. A lot of the times, investors, they pull these records instead of sending mail. They skip tracing. They want to call. They get people on the phone. So usually those do not mail tend to fall into that same category of do not call. So that's always a good way to try to avoid spending on that lead, spending on that record and still getting no results, right?
And the good thing about this data as well, it's being refreshed daily. So you're getting the
Hmm.
most current ownership information, any changes or sales or recordings or liens or foreclosures that are occurring on single properties will be updated, and you'll see the transition of those properties going into those other types of stages. So it's that brings a lot of value. It's a lot of work on our end, but it again will give you the most up to date information so it's as accurate as possible.
So a question came in. It's a good question. Can you do multiple states at one time, or is it like very, very specific, or do you do multiple different searches?
Yeah, you can break it down by counties. I would say that would be the most recommended. You can add multiple states if I'm not, if you want to, but usually that what that does is you get many records at a time. So if you really want to refine your list and get the best out of the search engine, you want to refine it at least at a zip code. I'm sorry, at a county level.
Yeah. So a good suggestion would be break it down per county. That's what I
Yeah.
do is I don't want to go for the entire state. especially if I haven't built a business. I don't know who's going to manage the properties. I just want to make sure that everything's done first on my end once I buy the property to make sure it's going to make me money. Then when I'm finding properties, I hone in. I know exactly which county I'm going to be investing in. And I know which areas. I could even give specific zip codes if I wanted to, because my property managers have told me this is a good area, this is a bad area. So we can narrow it down. So you don't want to just blanket send out lots of email or mail to a lot of people. You want to be as targeted as you can. And obviously you're going to be saving a lot of money doing so.
Exactly. Hit the nail on the head. Besides the the assessor's data or what you would find as far as the ownership, targeting the ownership records, you can apply sales data, and target properties that haven't sold in over a decade, right? Try to determine that length of ownership and try to weed out those records that have recently bought or recently sold, which most likely, tend to not resell, or they're probably being sold by another investor that's looking to get a profit out of it. And so using that sales insight, and targeting those arm's length transactions that haven't sold, or where the sale hasn't been recorded, so we can say is before, and then we set a date. Let's just say 3 years ago, for example, August 1st, 2020. So any sales that have sold August 1st, 2020 to present, those get weeded out the list here, and that way we don't have to deal with those recent sales.
Hey, Dan,
As that
Roger,
continues,
would you mind if so you're looking at Orange County? That's a
Yeah.
little pricey for us right now, or at least I don't want to
Sure.
look at Orange County. Let's look at actually where I have a conference called the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, and I was actually looking in the city of St. Louis. I know there's a lot of really good properties, and I'm actually thinking about starting my business there. Would you mind starting at St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm not sure what the county's name is, but let's start breaking down there. So maybe you could walk me through as I am, I want to start investing in St. Louis. Let's go through every single step of the way.
Yeah, totally. I believe, county is St. Louis. Go ahead and just start.
I think there's also
here.
St. Louis City, if we wanted to add that additional. Yeah, there we go.
St. Louis City as well. Yeah. So we can do multiple counties here. And then, click get count just to see what the results look like. Did you want to just target that St. Louis City, right? You would type in the city here, zip code. We'll leave it at the county level for now. We'll continue to scroll down. Land use, right? Do we want to target single family residence?
Right? Residential. Yeah, residential family homes.
Drill that down a bit more.
So square foot, we would want from let's say 1,000 square feet to 1,800 square feet, and then 3 bedrooms or more.
Okay. So the living area, right? 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 square feet to, we can say 2,000 at most, and then bedrooms three or more.
3 plus. All right.
Yeah, bathrooms fine. Total rooms, total area. That's okay. So pool, I prefer no pool. So maybe go ahead and uncheck that. Not bad to have a pool, but it's just one less thing to have to think about and get fixed.
Totally.
Let's see. Okay, keep going down. What other information should we put in there?
Yeah. Did you want to target, out-of-state owners or just, absentee owners in general?
Oh, so you can do out-of-state owners?
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll say
mailing
during this
mailing address
bundle.
Cool.
So we'll say mailing state is not Missouri.
That's pretty neat. And so for everybody watching, the mailing state, that's where the tax bill goes. And so the situs address is the address of the actual property. But if the mail is going out of state, then somebody from out of state is owning it.
And it's just a pain. The people, try to do these property managements by themselves out of state, and they just get annoyed and they go, you know what, I'd rather just sell it. So there's some value to that record. Yeah.
And then go up. There was one more. Do not mail. So if there's a do not mail, that means they don't want to be mailed. Is that correct?
Exactly. So we'll go to do not mail, and maybe even exclude corporations.
That'd be fine. Yeah, let's try that. And for everybody watching, I know Pete might be thinking, well, as you are whittling down, you might be leaving some on the table. You could always go back and get another list. But if you're mailing, that means you're spending money every single time you're mailing something out. So it would be good if you had it a certain, break it down as fine-tunedly as you can. And you can always go back and redo the setup, like make sure the list is done. Okay, so what else we got?
Sure. We continue to scroll down here, and then again, sales insight to try to target that length of ownership or determine that length of ownership. You can do 5 years ago. Properties that haven't sold over 5 years, 10 years. Open
Okay.
lean
Yeah,
insight. Mhm.
should we try that, Roger? Doing maybe
Yeah,
length of ownership. It's been 10 plus years that they've owned the property.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
We're just trying to identify those motivated sellers, right?
absolutely. So we'll go 2013.
And I see on there
Yeah.
mortgage information. That is awesome
Hmm.
information. Let's say I'm like, man, I really want to go after people who have very little of a mortgage on there. And maybe they own it free and clear. How, like, let's just see if there's zero mortgage. How many properties have a zero mortgage on it?
Yeah, so number of open liens, we'll say free and clear. Add that filter. Out of those 733, we went
Wow.
ahead and excluded about 300 or so, little under.
Okay, so these are
Um,
not corporately owned. These are free and clear. They've had it for more than 10 years. These could be people that they might not even know what they have, or they're not
Yeah.
utilizing it like we could.
They're just
Yeah.
sitting on a massive amount of cash and equity that
Mhm.
maybe they're ready to downsize, and you do an outreach to them. Hey, timing's good. I'm an empty nester and I'm looking for a smaller place. I'd be interested in selling this property. So
What else you got, Roger?
Absolutely. Well, we kind of touched on this already with the open lien, estimated equity, right? So we selected free and clear. So that's basically, yeah, 100% equity. Continue to scroll. You see here. You can also add loan balance if you want to maybe target those properties with some equity, just not 100, not 100%.
how
Assessed
about?
values. That's
Oh yeah, assess value. Go ahead, Roger. Sorry.
Yeah, so the assessed values or assessor information is used to target what the county assessors is kind of given to us. That tends to change as improvements are applied on the property throughout the year, but it's always good
And
insight.
that would be the difference between assessed value and our market estimated value, right? That's
Estimated
more
value.
of an
Exactly.
based off of an AVM, if I
Yeah,
remember.
exactly. So the estimated value is really based off an automated value model where we can give you an estimated property value, what it's currently worth now.
Kyle added he'd like to see built after 1950. That's kind of, I don't know the area. I mean, Kyle might know the area that might be good. I personally don't mind if it's older than that, but he was thinking no basement, 2-car garage. Let's just add that criterion. Built after 1950. Is there a criteria you could put in there? But we'll leave the other thing else. I just want to see what that can whittle it down to.
Sure. We can say year built is 1950 to 2023.
It's good. Cool.
Allowed us to hone in a bit more there.
Exactly. Taking a lot more targeted approach, with a lot more qualified of a lead versus having to do a blanket mass marketing. So, these are over 300 really good, precise, specific opportunities here. And so you can even get even deeper into the weeds, or, as Dustin mentioned, we can even expand it out. So if you are looking to do more of a mass mailer.
So what happens now? Let's say we got 364. This looks great.
Yeah, so now you can go ahead and put this in a spreadsheet if you want, or if you want to just preview the results, you can view results and those will kind of populate on the map just to give you an idea of where, they're sitting on in the geography. So you can scroll in, get a good view of what that property kind of looks like through an aerial view. Notice the preview here of the different property owners. And once you're ready to kind of pull the trigger and get this, get the data, you'll go ahead and click export, select the data package, which would be, for the most part, the property characteristics. And notice as you select that property characteristics data package, these are all the columns you would get, 195 columns within your spreadsheet. And so we'll go ahead and do a quick sample order. Notice Excel friendly CSV by default. And then you can put this in the upper lowercase on the case format and just go ahead and hit order. So once you hit order, that's when that's really when the cost is going to come into play. But now you can be able to look at the spreadsheet. So let me pull that up for you guys here. See the format of the data. There you go.
So with this data, I mean, it's fantastic, especially knowing these. I mean, this is terrific. These are free and clear, and they've hold it for more than 10 years. They might be, yeah, they might be ready to sell. And so now we can take this data. I'm asking you guys, Roger and Danny. So let's say I wanted to, I'm not gonna do skip trace. I don't want to call them. I just want to send letters out. We could probably just take this data, give it to a company that mails out these mailers, and they can just use that. Is that correct?
Yeah, we can even create the mailings labels for you out of the system. Rather than exporting it into Excel, you can always do that as well and save this to your desktop and put it in a folder. But yeah, one of the other options, Roger, if you go back to the
Sure.
export screen, is mailing labels.
Is it just like
So
an
if I come back,
Avery label that you print onto?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different options. Let's see if you
yeah,
click
different
on
formats for
labels.
sure. So if I click
Mhm.
on labels here, this would be in a PDF. You download this in a PDF, but yeah, and then you'll be able to print it out in stickers automatically.
And those are different label preferences.
Mhm.
Avery 5160, 61, and 62.
Pretty neat. I have 4 kids, so instead of hiring a company to do that, I could just get these letters printed up, bulk, send in my house, get envelopes, and have my kids do all the sticking and stuffing them in there.
Yeah, take
Totally.
advantage of having the child still in the house and still willing to help you out.
Cool. Okay, so this is really neat. I like this. Now, what else can we do on this? I know I saw like if there's like tax liens or anything like that. If there, do we have any of that data? Maybe going after properties that have back taxes or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, usually the back tax is aggregated from our county assessors data source. But if I come back into my advanced search criteria, and that really just boils down at the county level. And so if we get that data, we can identify whether that property has ever been tax delinquent, in the past. And so we'll come over here under the assessor information, and notice here the last filter here under the assessor information, we can identify whether that property was delinquent. Click yes, and we should have results if we have data. And there you go. Out of those 300, 33 populated. So that means, yeah, these records have been, delinquent in the past.
So, what else for investors? What other tips? What other, like, what have you seen work best for real estate investors?
Yeah, I mean, we're just looking at a fraction of what Datatree can do, right? This is just the list building solution through the advanced search. Now, if you want to mitigate risk when targeting a specific property, we have the ability to complete that due diligence and pull individual reports for those properties, pull a valuation, an AVM. So if I come out of here and want to search for a property, right, 123 Main Street, I'll just take one of these, for example. I'll select this one. And once we're on the subject property tab, this is where we can identify or select specific reports. Investors love the total view report. Reason why is because it uses logic from our different data sets, and it allows you to identify open lien insight. I know we selected free and clear from this, on that list that I built, but if I go ahead and hit order on this total view, it'll give our viewers an idea of the type of data that can get captured within the total view. And if you notice, mind might start running a bit here, and we'll give you a little more information as to what's been going on that property. So like I said, we identified 0 open liens on that list, so there's no open mortgages at the moment. We have involuntary lien data. There's a mechanics lien, a judgment. We'll capture that in this section. Of course, prior loan history based off the current owner, and along with sales insight, prior sales information, current taxes. If you want to make sure properties currently up to date with their tax payments, you can order a tax source report. Be certain of that. and then continue to scroll down here, of course, listing insight. The property's been in the market already, listing history, and then of course embedded sales comps in the area, nearby listings, and lastly, the 30 days market trends in the zip code.
I see
So
on there a foreclosure report. What is that foreclosure report?
yeah, so foreclosure usually you're targeting if you want to get a little snapshot of whether there's been notice of notice of defaults, notice of sales. There's been that the property has gone through that process, and you want to do a quick lookup. Um, the foreclosure will provide that insight, and so it didn't pull up because there hasn't been any foreclosure activity for this property.
So that's just one property. Is there a way you can pull for like in the area which properties are on foreclosure? Because I'm thinking there might
Mm,
be some problems in the economy coming here in the future. And if something happened where like in 2008, it would have been great to know, okay, which ones are in foreclosure, all that sort of stuff. So you can have a big long list. So you can start putting in lots of offers. Is there a way to do that?
absolutely, that's right. So let me go back over here into the advanced search, and as opposed to targeting tax delinquent, right? We can jump back down to the foreclosure details or foreclosure information. And here, let me remove the tax delinquent. And so this is where we can identify any foreclosure status right now, right? So properties in default, property is going through auction, is currently owned by the bank, recently sold by a bank, and short sale. And so yeah, different foreclosure types or transactions. So we can select the default here for old time's sake, and then say foreclosure recording date, maybe the last 6 months, just to see how that looks in these counties. And so I'm getting zero results. So yeah, haven't been that
Okay.
much
The big
default
reason why
activity.
is they don't have a mortgage on them. So I was just
Yeah,
curious if there's
exactly.
yeah, if there's a way. So that's really, really cool to have. Okay, so are there any other things that you've seen been successful for real estate investors to really, I mean, the end goal, the data is here to help us actually get a deal, get a
Mm.
property, purchase the property. What else have you seen that other successful real estate investors have done?
Are there
Yeah,
any land investors out there on the line by chance, or is everyone mainly on the residential side?
Mainly on the residential, but I personally like to look at land as well. So yeah, if you want to walk us through land investing, that would be terrific.
Yeah, it's a big industry out there that has really gravitated to the use of Datatree as well. Roger can kind of take us through some of that criteria that really kind of stands out. I know, gosh, I know a lot of popularity is in the San Bernardino County, California area. I don't know if that's the segment you want to test us with, Roger, but maybe you could show us a couple of the criterias and areas.
sure. Yeah, we'll take it over to California here. Let me go ahead and clear my list here to get that started. And so yeah, similar scenario as for residential. You just all we're doing here is just applying a filter to identify that vacant land or that vacant land record. And so we'll go ahead and target our geography. And again, this is nationwide. We're just using San Bernardino as a sample here. Again, we'll go ahead and add on that vacant land parameter to make sure we're targeting those land records here. So we'll select vacant land type, and then you can easily notice that as you click get count, those get weeded out, right? The any residential commercial stuff gets dumped out, and so we're sure that these are just raw land records. Um, then we can confirm lot acreage. If you have a specific lot, lot size that you want to target, we'll go 0.25, quarter of an acre to maybe 5 to get those smaller ones. Usually these are the ones that are more popular in the real estate investment world. at the moment. What else here? So similar scenario, opt out any corporate owned, and of course the do not mail. Get those in the query here, and then apply that out of state ownership as well. Something I didn't touch on was just applying any cells, or I'm sorry, any ownership that is not within the county of interest. So for example, we'll say mailing state is California, but the county is not San Bernardino. So we're targeting in-state, out-of-county owners, but then we'll go ahead and apply, add that to our search, make sure we keep that in our query here, and then we'll just say anything outside of the state of California as well. We're not frowning upon those motivated sellers that are within the state as well. Add to search. So notice that bumped it up a bit more. And from there, again, we want to add that cells insight to determine that length of ownership. Usually land with raw land, anything that hasn't sold in about a year or two, it's up for grab again. So let's go ahead and just add about 2 years ago. And for all time's sake, we'll go ahead and just add that free and clear on the open mortgages. And lastly, assessed values. Now, assessed values usually does a trick with raw land, because at the end of the day, the way we collect the data, the assessor roll gets sent to us maybe once or twice a year, depending on the county. And so with raw land, there's really not much improvements. And so the assessed value is usually, spot on as far as that estimated land value or total value. So we'll go ahead and add maybe, 10,000 to 20,000. Just play with your results there. Of course, if you want to,
Yeah, go ahead and
doesn't hurt
click
to
on
see.
delinquent.
Doesn't hurt to see exactly what that delinquency result looks like. Boom, spot on. So that's usually with raw land. That's kind of all it is, and all it takes to try to find those records there. It's a little less to kind of think of, when you're talking about residential, because residential, you got a building on there, but with raw land, it's pretty straightforward.
This is really awesome. And I like how we can get the data and even getting the labels out. So I can open up to questions while people are either thinking of questions or asking questions. Is there anything else that we should be looking at or know about Datatree?
I think, once we start hearing those questions, I think we can either show the other features, or if need be. But for the
Yeah.
most part, the list tool, I think, was what the main topic for this call today.
Cool. Yeah, and this is definitely something that we'd be able to utilize. And so if you want to mail out letters, you can definitely do that. So ask questions, go ahead. And if you want to raise your hand, if you want to jump in and start asking questions, go ahead and unshare your screen, Roger, and then we can have other people ask questions. But I put inside of the chat. So I worked out with with Datatree a great discount for you guys. So if you use that link, masterpassiveincome.com/Datatree, you'll see the discount that you're going to be able to get. I know lots of investors use Datatree as well as myself, so it's really, really good. So what questions do you guys have? And feel free to, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can write it in the chat, however you guys want to do. But I want to make sure you guys get your questions answered.
Dustin, I'll just jump in on regarding these pricing plans. They are custom for just our master passive partnership, but we do also offer an opportunity for some other custom packages that are also not listed here, but a part of the master passive agreement. So you just need to fill out I think there's just a simple web form here. Let us know what package you like, or if there's something else that we can discuss. We can be very creative and get you on a custom plan that meets your business needs as well as your budget too. I know some of the folks started out in investing saying, hey, Danny, 97's a little bit stiff for me being just starting in the business. Do you have something a little bit smaller? Well, actually, you do. We have a $47 plan. It's not necessarily advertised on this page, but we'll make sure that's getting taken care of behind the scenes. You just speak to me or to Roger or to one of our other account executives, and they'll make sure that you're well taken care of. Especially if, as long as you come through this website, we know that it's part of the master passive income referral program.
So if they go here, Danny, and they want, I mean, that it sounds terrific to be able to use, get the $47 one, because as they're getting started, and then they realize, oh man, there's so much good information that I would probably need to get it to the $97. But to get started, for sure, you have some really good information. How would they, like, if they go to this page, how would they, if they instead of checking out now for $97, how would they be able to connect you and get that $47 one?
Yeah, so all our plans work as kind of like a debit card. So as you're pulling lists and pulling comparables and property data, it draws down from those different tiers. So it's not $97 plus $1.10 for a property detail report. No, it's $97, and that $1.10 draws down and eats away that $97 until it's absorbed. And that's how the $47 plan works as well. But we have other unique packages, including even a prepaid plan where some of our customers say, Danny, this month I might do $97. Next month I might do $200 or $600. Can I just give you $1,000 and let me eat up that $1,000 as I'm getting, absorbed to the business? And that's another option too. We give you up to 12 months to eat away a prepaid plan. And so all you'd have to do is, when you scroll down to the bottom of this page, it's just got a form that you can hit get started, and it'll take you to the bottom, and just fill out your name, your company name, email, phone number, what plan you like. You can choose any of them, but we're still just it's not gonna charge you, or we're not gonna commit you to the 97 or 147. We're not gonna commit you to any of those plans. It's just those are the items that are available. Then you hit submit, and then myself, Roger, or one of my other team members will be outreaching to you and saying, hey, I see you were part of the master passive income web form. We understand you're interested in maybe the $97 plan or something else. Let me tell you about some of the other options. And then, we can do an even more in-depth training at that point, where it's one-on-one with just you. And then also, again, we can talk about pricing and plans afterwards.
That's great. So somebody asked a question, like, so if it's a monthly plan, is there like a contract, like 3 months or however long? And then is there a way just to pull one list? Like, I just want one list right now. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, if you wanted to pull just kind of one list, we could either do that, do the legwork for you, kind of like what Roger was showing you, and just charge you on a per list basis. That's through kind of our custom data solution group. If you sign up for one of our other plans, it is a 12-month term. But you can always upgrade if you wanted to start light, like you mentioned, Dustin. Maybe you start at the 47 plan and then you upgrade because you're starting to go over or utilize the service a lot more. We can always upgrade you down the road as well to the 97, 147, 197 plan after that. We're really confident that getting you on board and using the system, having some of that hands-on training is going to really be beneficial. And if you want to test it out first, hey, Danny, I don't want to commit to 47 or 97. Not a problem. Let me get you a free trial access to start playing with the system yourselves, getting comfortable with it. And again, we will train you. We can add users if you have an admin or other staff members that would also need to be provisioned with that access. There's no charge for any additional users. And then we can get you again started on another plan that makes most sense and that you're most comfortable with.
Great. Well, I don't see any other questions. And I mean, you walked us through exactly what I wanted to look at. And I loved how you walked us through St. Louis. Now I know that it's a really good, at least from what I can tell, get some good information. That I definitely have my property manager make sure that I'm going to be offering in the right areas. And so everybody knows me. I want to make sure that my experts on the ground are the ones that are going to be making sure I'm not doing anything wrong. But well, great, Danny and Roger, really appreciate having you guys on. Is there anything else before we sign off?
No, we're just really excited to be on board with Master Passive. Thank you so much, Dustin, for your time, and again for everybody attending. Roger, great job today. Looking forward to getting some of you started and hearing from you. If there's any questions or anything that you needed some additional clarity on, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Roger. I'll make sure I share that direct contact information with Dustin to share with you, or even do an instant chat on that branded page that we have with Master Passive. There's a chat system that you can just click chat. And if you have a quick question, we'll instantly get you a response back too.
Great. Well, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you and Datatree coming on, sharing, and everybody at Master Passive Income audience. I really appreciate you guys. Hopefully this helped you guys, and I would love to see you guys investing. And so hopefully you guys will be able to utilize and, I mean, take advantage of what's going to be coming. Hopefully it's going to be a really fantastic time for investing in real estate. But thanks for being on, everybody, and I will hopefully see you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Take care, everyone.
Enjoy the holiday.